last couple of weeks, we've been talking about song enhancements and embellishments. And if the Beach Boys and Queen used complex harmonies, good songwriting, chord complexities to enhance a song and make it more appealing, what about the backup musicians? A guitarist, a drummer, or maybe a mandolin player. If they're not involved in the songwriting, the arrangement, or the layout of a song, and their role is basically support, can they enhance a song or make it more memorable and appealing? Yeah, of course. A few weeks ago when I discussed song enhancement, I briefly described Jerry Douglas. Douglas is a renowned square-necked dobro player and believes that performance is 65 to 70% and the instrument the other 30% or 35%. In other words, the player must adjust to an instrument and try to get it exactly out of the instrument what he or she wants from it. To really hear how he's playing, Douglas sometimes plays in the dark. This is in order to engage hearing rather than the visual. And when asked about how he was able to deliver such rich and expressive tones from the dobro, Douglas says, "It was knowing what kinds of sounds I could make and going from there. It was a sound that was in the air that I wanted to recreate on the instrument." I've taken Jerry Douglas's course on the dobro, and I can't emphasize enough how much time he spends on getting the desired tone out of his instrument. He talks about right hand positioning. If you move the bar away from the cone, the tone becomes more mellow and softer. A short distance can make the instrument give you an entirely different tone or mood. And he uses the left hand and the dobro bar pretty much the same way. A second master of tone or tonality was the late Tony Rice. His friend and contemporary Ricky Skaggs called Rice, quote, "the single most influential acoustic guitar player in the last 50 years, end quote. Rice did it with acoustic guitar exactly what Douglas has done with the dobro. When a pick hits a guitar string, you can make it sound thin or thick, mellow or authoritative. Rice's playing style and note choices could make his guitar sound happy or sad, contemplative or bold. What I'd like to do here is just take one of my guitars and try to demonstrate what I'm talking about. The musicians out there will know what I'm talking about, but those of you who don't play an instrument regularly, this is quite revealing. I'll just grab my guitar. Okay, what I have in front of me here, you can't see it, but is 4 picks and my thumb. So I'll just strum a C chord, and this guitar may or may not be at concert pitch, but this is a C chord just with my thumb. Now I'm going to use a very thin pick, and you can hear the tonality change a bit. This is a 46 gauge. It's the same chord, but with a pick. Here's my thumb. Then we'll try another pick. This one's a 71 gauge. Probably, I guess these would be called medium, I suppose. See, it's a little more tone there. This is 114, getting into the thicker picks. Here the lows are coming out a little bit more here. And finally, I think this is a 125. This is a flat picker's pick. So we'll go down to the thin pick again. And the thickest pick. That's a tonal difference, and I'll do my thumb as well. So you see there, just with plastic, just with the picks, the difference in tonality that you can get just playing a chord on a guitar. Getting back to Rice, he confined himself to the acoustic guitar, which he played with flat picks that he made himself from pieces of tortoise shell. In his early 20s, he began studying harmony and playing more adventurously and often very fast. 16th notes, kind of like a banjo player. And he did it with high-speed tempos and with impeccable clarity and tone. Anyone who's ever played guitar knows that's not easy to do at a high tempo. Well, some players today have studied Rice and can copy the speed and clarity. I haven't heard anybody that's able to also match the tone that he gets out of these strings, these notes, at a high speed. Someone once said of Rice that he did for the acoustic guitar what Jimi Hendrix did for the electric guitar. He made an acoustic express itself in ways that it hadn't been known beforehand to be capable of. Today's song is You Were Home to Me. It's a song I wrote for my late mom. Mothers can be the most important person in our lives. From all their sacrifices to the warmth they bring, this song is to celebrate and always remember our mothers. Now that all the haze and dust has settled and you've reached your destination, arriving at one final stop. Now that all the heartache and the tears have dried and time has dulled the sadness, wounds and cuts, nothing lasts forever, so they say. And yet I feel your love inside unbroken every day. You saw my best part, non-stop devotion and a warm heart. Through the years you were home to me. A young boy growing had refuge when winds were blowing through thick and thin. You were home to me. I remember when you'd take us to the water, and I'd drive in Dad's old Chevy to a place we'd not been before. Dreams like that you had your share, all right. Adventures leading somewhere roads were dark. You were the light. It's funny when I look down at my phone, waiting for your call, and yet I know you saw my best part, non-stop devotion and a warm heart. Through the years you were home to me. A young boy growing had refuge when winds were blowing through thick and thin. You were home to me.
It's time now to take a look at what is going on in the musical life of Freddie Spaghetti.
After a week or so of playing along with the Taylor Swift song, it's still a work in progress. So Freddie thinks maybe it's time now to also add something else to his learning repertoire. He unpacks the Martin, gives it a quick polish, and checks the neck to see that he hasn't dinged it with his fingernails while trying to master that nasty F chord. Gently cradling the guitar, he slumps back onto the couch, the straps now dangling loose on his lap. He puts some earbuds into the cell phone and begins his evening. Tonight, he's going to learn something brand new and different, something really different from what he's been doing. He thumbs through some songs on the cell phone. I've Got Eyes by the Fabulous Thunderbirds. No, not ready for that one. Another pop song. Or maybe something a bit different. Freddie suddenly remembers a song that he heard way back, and it stuck with him. It was about a guy who sold his soul to the devil to play guitar. Yeah, that one. It's here somewhere. Where is it? The guy who sang it, it was really bluesy song and really old, like from way, way back, like dinosaur age. But it was the perfect song. The one that Freddie needs to learn right now. Where is it? Who sang it? Freddie frantically thumbs through some song libraries on his phone. If he could only remember the name of the song or the guy that sang it. He spends a good half hour searching. Then, just when he was ready to move on to something else, an old black and white cover photo on an MP3 appears on his screen. There in the photograph is a guy with the thinnest fingers, a top hat, a tie, and a suit holding a guitar. He's making some weird half chord up the neck. That's it, Freddie said, as he hit the play arrow on Robert Johnson's Crossroad Blues.
Thanks for listening today. Remember to come right back here next week for another edition of Sound Threads.